Sometimes the sweetest memories begin with the sound of a lid. An old cookie tin held far more than cookies. It held comfort, kindness, and familiar smiles. The aroma filled every corner of the house. Each batch made with patience and quiet care. Always waiting in just the right place. Whether Christmas, birthdays, or ordinary Tuesdays, it never mattered. An empty tin simply meant it had done its job. Sometimes it became a place for recipes and keepsakes. Its dents only made it more beautiful. Passing it along meant passing along tradition. Love always found its way to the table. Old recipes still bring familiar joy. Until next time, it waits. A humble little keeper of happy moments. Still quietly part of the family. Sometimes love sounds like the gentle click of an old cookie tin. Some of the most treasured things in a kitchen cannot be bought. Handwritten recipe boxes. Quiet keepers of family history. Inside, time seems to slow down. Recipes written by hand, with love and care. Some in elegant script, others hurried and well used. Marginal notes, splatters, and crossed-out ingredients tell their own stories. Apple pie, Sunday pot roast, Christmas cookies, and secret family recipes. Each one a small piece of someone's heart preserved on paper. Organized by hand, treasured for decades. Some simple and wooden, others decorated with care. These are not just instructions. They are memories. Passed from mother to daughter, grandmother to grandchild. Written in kitchens filled with warmth and laughter. Closed with care and put back in its place until needed once more. Small wooden chests holding generations of love and flavor. patient and faithful, waiting in the quiet. A lifetime of recipes, kept safe in a simple box of memories. For centuries, the wok has been a versatile and trusted tool in kitchens across the world. Light yet strong, its rounded shape allows heat to move quickly and evenly. It heats rapidly and holds temperature well, perfect for quick cooking. With a simple toss, meat cooks quickly while staying tender inside. Vegetables keep their crispness and bright color when cooked in the wok. It brings everything together, coating each piece with flavor. The high walls make it easy to toss and turn food with ease. With proper care, its natural seasoning only grows better over time. A quick rinse and dry is all it needs to stay in excellent condition. It can also fry, steam, or even smoke foods with simple adjustments. Many families have passed their wok down through generations. It turns simple ingredients into fast, flavorful meals. The high heat creates a subtle smoky aroma. This is known as wok hei. Light, strong, and always ready for the next meal. Over time, it develops a deep, natural non-stick surface. Versatile, efficient, and timeless in its design. Simple and powerful, the wok remains a quiet favorite in the kitchen. Sometimes, the most meaningful stories begin with something quietly waiting. This chef's knife carried more than a sharp edge. It carried years of steady, everyday use. The steel reflected years of careful work and countless ordinary mornings. It settled naturally into familiar hands, ready for another day's work. Each steady cut became part of the kitchen's quiet rhythm. This knife has served 3 generations of our family. Its steel holds stories in every single line. It is a timeless legacy. The recipe cards showed their age, while familiar hands remembered every step. Cooking was often shared, with each meal offering something to observe and remember. After each meal, the chef's knife was cleaned with quiet attention. It was dried immediately, a simple habit repeated over many years. When the work was finished, the chef's knife returned to the same familiar place. The cutting board quietly reflected years of shared meals and daily routines. Preparing fresh bread began with the same familiar motion. Soup and slow-cooked meals filled the kitchen with familiar comfort. Through everyday meals and special occasions, the chef's knife remained a quiet part of the kitchen. The kitchen moved at an unhurried pace, shaped by familiar routines. Simple ingredients were prepared with the same steady care each day. Years changed the hands, but their careful touch remained the same. The blade reflected years of dependable service and careful maintenance. Each mark on the steel became part of its long history. When the preparation was finished, the kitchen settled into a comfortable stillness. Outside, the seasons continued to change. Inside, familiar routines remained. Meals brought people together, one conversation at a time. Well-used recipes continued to find their place at the table. Fresh herbs marked the changing seasons with familiar flavors. Morning preparation often began in quiet, familiar ways. Years of experience brought confidence to every movement. From time to time, the edge was renewed, with patience and care. Well-used kitchen tools worked together through every season. As the meal slowly came together, the kitchen filled with quiet warmth. Its work was completed carefully, without hurry or waste. Over time, the kitchen became a place where knowledge was shared naturally. The lessons came through patience, attention, and time spent together. Careful movements were passed along through steady guidance. Each movement reflected respect for the tools and the process. The recipes stayed familiar, even as the voices around them changed. Years passed gently, marked by ordinary meals and shared moments. It was valued not only for its age, but for the memories connected to it. Together, they had been part of countless days and quiet traditions. The garden continued to provide the ingredients for another meal. Each season brought familiar ingredients back to the kitchen. The kitchen welcomed every generation that gathered there. Conversations and quiet moments became part of the meal.
Soll sie to ovation from Zuveran down.
New hands continued learning from pages marked by years of use. The paper showed the passage of time, while the recipes continued to be remembered. Family meals was prepared with the same careful motions passed through the years. Meals created moments where stories and memories were shared. When the meal was finished, the day's work quietly came to an end. Years of use had naturally shaped the handle through countless preparations. The evening ended with the same familiar care given each day. The kitchen was cleared and prepared for another morning. It was cleaned carefully, just as it had always been. A simple routine continued, repeated through many seasons. It returned to its place, ready for the next day. Outside, another day slowly moved toward evening. The room became still, carrying the feeling of many familiar days. Another meal would come, bringing another opportunity to gather. Some everyday objects remain quietly present through the years. Some family histories are remembered through photographs and stories. Others are remembered through the objects that shared their daily moments. For thousands of years, the clay pot has been one of the most natural and gentle tools in cooking. Made from natural clay and fired with care, it carries the warmth of the earth. Before cooking, it is gently soaked, helping it hold moisture during the process. It warms gradually, distributing heat evenly and softly. Simple ingredients are placed inside, ready for slow, gentle cooking. As it heats, the clay allows moisture to circulate, keeping food tender. The natural clay breathes, enhancing aroma and taste in a unique way. After use, it needs only mild cleaning and complete drying. Many families treasure their clay pots. These are passed down through generations. Each one carries its own story and character from years of use. It cooks food patiently, preserving nutrients and natural flavors. The lid keeps the warmth and aroma locked inside. It travels easily from stove to table, serving as both cooker and server. Over time, it develops a deeper, richer color from repeated use. Natural, honest, and timeless in its simplicity. Gentle and full of tradition, the clay pot remains a quiet favorite in the kitchen. For thousands of years, the mortar and pestle has been one of the oldest tools in the kitchen. Carved from stone, it is heavy, solid, and built to endure. It gently breaks down spices, releasing their full aroma and flavor. With each steady motion, it transforms whole ingredients into fresh powder. It creates rich pastes for sauces, pestos, and marinades. From guacamole to curry pastes, it brings texture and depth. The weight of the stone does much of the work, with patience. Simple rinsing and drying keeps it clean and ready. Some are large for family meals, others small for daily spices. It awakens the true fragrance that pre-ground spices often lose. It stands as a symbol of slow, mindful cooking. Over time, it becomes smoother and more seasoned with use. It adds a special touch that machines cannot replicate. The difference it makes is felt in every bite. The difference it makes is felt in Thrunit. Ancient, honest, and still loved in modern kitchens. Quiet, powerful, and wonderfully simple. Timeless and true, the mortar and pestle continues its patient work. In many kitchens, the cast iron griddle has become a beloved, everyday essential. Forged from iron, it is made heavy for lasting use. Over time, it develops a natural non-stick finish that only improves. It holds heat beautifully, spreading it gently and consistently. Perfect for fluffy pancakes that cook evenly every time. It brings a satisfying sizzle to bacon, eggs, and breakfast classics. From sandwiches to tortillas, it gives food a beautiful golden crust. A light touch of oil keeps its surface seasoned and protected. It cooks vegetables and potatoes with a perfect sear. With each use, it grows more character and better performance. It makes cooking for family and friends feel easy and joyful. Even after the meal, it holds warmth for a little while longer. Dark, smooth, and well-loved, a sign of many good meals. Always ready for the next breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Reliable, versatile, and built to last. strong and timeless. The cast iron griddle remains a kitchen favorite. In kitchens everywhere, the pepper grinder has become a quiet, trusted companion. Crafted from natural wood, each grinder carries its own unique warmth and character. It holds whole peppercorns, preserving their rich aroma until the moment they are needed. With a simple turn, it releases fresh, fragrant pepper. It brings a gentle warmth and depth to almost any meal. Inside, steel or ceramic works steadily to crush each peppercorn. Some tall, some short, each one designed for its own purpose. Simple care keeps it working smoothly for years. At the table, it invites everyone to season their food exactly as they like. Even when not in use, it adds a natural touch to the kitchen. From soups to salads, it quietly enhances everyday cooking. Over time, it develops a rich patina that tells its own story. It turns simple meals into something more flavorful and satisfying. Always ready, always waiting for the next twist. Freshly ground, never the same as pre-ground. Simple, fragrant, and timeless, the pepper grinder continues its quiet work. Sometimes the most meaningful stories begin with something quietly waiting. This dining table carried more than plates and glasses. It carried years of shared time. The wood reflected years of ordinary mornings and quiet evenings. It settled naturally into its place, ready for another day's gathering. Each steady placement became part of the household's quiet rhythm. Every meal began with familiar objects and thoughtful arrangement. Small details showed their age, while familiar hands remembered every habit. Meals were often shared, with each gathering offering something to observe and remember. After each meal, the table was tended with steady care. It was cleaned immediately, a simple habit repeated over many years. When the work was finished, everything returned to its familiar arrangement. The surface quietly reflected years of shared meals and daily routines. Preparing for a meal began with the same familiar gestures. Warm meals filled the space with familiar comfort. Through everyday meals and special occasions, The table remained a quiet part of the home. The household moved at an unhurried pace, shaped by familiar routines. Simple things were arranged with the same steady care each day. Years changed the hands, but their careful touch remained the same. The grain reflected years of dependable presence and quiet maintenance. Each mark in the wood became part of its long history. When the gathering was finished, the room settled into a comfortable stillness. Outside, the seasons continued to change. Inside, familiar routines remained. Meals brought people together, one conversation at a time. Well-used recipes continued to find their place at the table. Fresh ingredients marked the changing seasons with familiar flavors. Morning preparation often began in quiet, familiar ways. Years of experience brought ease to every movement. From time to time, small adjustments were made with patience and care. Well-used household tools worked together through every season. As the meals slowly came together, the room filled with quiet warmth. Its work was completed carefully, without hurry or waste. Over time, the table became a place where knowledge was shared naturally. The lessons came through patience, attention, and time spent together. Careful movements were passed along through steady guidance. Each movement reflected respect for the space and the process. Some habits are learned best through time spent gathering together. The notes stayed familiar, even as the voices around them changed. Years passed gently, marked by ordinary meals and shared moments. It was valued not only for its age, but for the memories connected to it. Together, they had been part of countless days and quiet traditions. The kitchen continued to provide what was needed for another meal. Each season brought familiar foods back to the table. The table welcomed every generation that gathered there. Conversations and quiet moments became part of the meal. New hands continued learning from pages marked by years of use. The paper showed the passage of time, while the habits continued to be remembered. Family meals were prepared with the same careful motions. passed through the years. When the meal was finished, the day's gathering quietly came to an end. Years of use had naturally shaped the surface through countless gatherings. The evening ended with the same familiar care given each day. The room was cleared and prepared for another morning. It was cared for carefully, just as it had always been. A simple routine continued, repeated through many seasons. It returned to its quiet readiness for the next day. Outside, another day slowly moved toward evening. The room became still, carrying the feeling of many familiar days. Another meal would come, bringing another opportunity to gather. Some everyday objects remain quietly present through the years. Some family histories are remembered through photographs and stories. Others are remembered through the objects that shared their daily moments. In kitchens for hundreds of years, the rolling pin has worked quietly and reliably. Made from natural wood, it carries a simple strength and warmth. With patient pressure, it transforms dough into something beautiful. It helps create perfect pie crusts, cookies, and handmade pasta. From family dinners to holiday baking, it plays its part every time. A light touch of flour keeps everything moving smoothly. After the work is done, it rests, ready for the next creation. Simple care with soap and water keeps it in excellent condition. Some are long and straight, others have handles, each with its own character. It brings consistency and even thickness to every batch. Many hands have used it over the years, creating memories and comfort food. It carries the gentle dust of flour like a badge of daily work. With time, it only grows more beautiful and smooth. It helps turn simple ingredients into warm, loving meals. Always ready, always dependable. Simple, honest, and essential in the heart of the kitchen. Timeless and steady, the rolling pin continues its quiet work. In kitchens around the world, the Dutch oven has earned a special place of trust. Born from iron and careful craftsmanship, It is built for strength and endurance. Thick walls and a heavy lid make it a master of slow, even cooking. It holds heat beautifully, releasing it slowly and steadily. From searing to simmering, it brings depth and comfort to every dish. One pot carries the aroma of slow-cooked meals that warm the home. It creates the perfect environment for crusty loaves and cozy casseroles. With simple care, it remains ready for years of faithful service. It travels easily from stove to table, inviting everyone to gather. Versatile enough for stovetop, oven, or even outdoor cooking. It turns simple ingredients into meals that bring people together. Passed down through generations, it carries stories of many kitchens. Solid, honest, and enduring qualities we admire in both tools and life. It stands ready, waiting for the next slow, comforting meal. Built without haste, it rewards patience with wonderful results. Strong and timeless, the Dutch oven remains a beloved friend in the kitchen. For generations, the wooden cutting board has been a trusted companion in the kitchen. It begins its life as part of a living tree, carrying the quiet strength of nature. Each board shows its own unique grain, telling the story of the tree it came from. Shaped and smoothed with care, it becomes a safe surface for daily use. Seasoned with natural oils, the wood is protected and nourished over time. It offers a gentle surface that respects the edge of a good knife. With age, it develops a warm, lived-in character that only improves. Simple care, a rinse and a dry, keeps it in service for many years. It becomes a natural platter for sharing simple meals with family and friends. At the end of the day, it rests, carrying the warmth of the kitchen. Timeless and true, the wooden cutting board remains a quiet heart of the kitchen. Solid, honest, and warm. Qualities we still seek in our daily lives. For generations, the cast iron skillet has been a quiet cornerstone of kitchens around the world. It begins in the heat of the foundry, where iron is shaped with strength and simplicity. Heavy and solid, it carries a natural heft. It speaks of lasting durability. Over time, careful seasoning builds a smooth, natural non-stick layer. It holds heat steadily, releasing it slowly. and evenly across its surface. In its warmth, food cooks with patience and respect, developing deep, rich flavor. With proper care, each use only improves the skillet's character. It asks only for simple care: a rinse, a dry, and a light touch of oil. Passed from one generation to the next, it becomes part of the family story. From morning eggs to evening steaks, it brings comfort to everyday meals. Even after the meal is done, it rests, ready for the next quiet morning. Strong, honest, and enduring, qualities we still value in a changing world. It reminds us that some of the best tools in life are the simplest ones. And through the years, the cast iron skillet continues its quiet, reliable service. For centuries, clocks have quietly marked the passing of time, one gentle moment after another. Long before clocks existed, people looked to the rising and setting sun to measure the day. One of the earliest timekeepers was the sundial, using sunlight and shadows to tell the hour. In places without sunlight, water clocks measured time through the slow and steady flow of water. Hourglasses offered another way to measure time, as grains of sand quietly slipped below. Inside mechanical clocks, gentle gears turned together in a slow and steady rhythm, quietly marking the passing of time. The gentle swing of a pendulum helped clocks keep steady and reliable time for many generations. Many clocks were carefully assembled by skilled hands, with quiet attention given to every small detail. In many homes, the gentle ticking of a grandfather clock became a familiar and comforting sound. Beside the bed, an alarm clock quietly waits to welcome the beginning of a new day. Portable watches allowed people to carry the quiet rhythm of time wherever they traveled. Today, digital clocks display time with simple glowing numbers, clear both day and night. In many towns, clock towers continue to mark each passing hour with calm and steady purpose. Although their designs have changed through the centuries, every clock shares the same quiet purpose. Each passing second gently reminds us that time moves forward at its own peaceful pace. As evening settles in, the gentle ticking becomes part of the quiet comfort of the room. And through the peaceful hours of the night, the quiet rhythm of a clock gently accompanies a restful sleep. For centuries, candlelight has brought warmth and quiet to homes around the world. Each candle begins as warm liquid wax, slowly prepared with care. At the center, a simple cotton wick waits to carry the gentle flame. As the wax cools, it becomes solid, creating the candle's quiet form. Some candles are blended with gentle fragrances, inspired by flowers, forests, or fresh rain. With a small spark, the flame begins its calm and steady glow. The flame dances softly, responding to even the smallest movement of air. As it burns, the wax melts slowly, becoming fuel for the quiet light. Many people enjoy candlelight during quiet evenings, reading, or peaceful reflection. The gentle glow often creates a feeling of comfort and calm. The small flame fills the room with a warm, peaceful light. On rainy evenings, the gentle light can make a room feel especially welcoming. Simple moments often feel slower beneath the quiet glow of a candle. As the flame quietly fades, its warmth lingers for just a little while. For thousands of years, tea has been part of quiet moments around the world. It all begins with small green leaves, growing slowly in peaceful gardens. Tea plants thrive in gentle rain, rich soil, and cool mountain air. When the leaves are ready, they are carefully gathered, by hand or machine. The leaves rest quietly, as they slowly lose their moisture. They are rolled and shaped, beginning the journey toward their final flavor. Careful drying helps preserve their aroma for many months. Green, black, white, and oolong teas all come from the same plant. Just a small handful of leaves is enough to begin a peaceful cup. As warm water meets the leaves, their colors and aromas slowly awaken. Delicate steam carries the gentle scent into the quiet room. Tea often accompanies peaceful mornings, quiet afternoons, and restful evenings. On rainy days, a warm cup can make the moment feel especially calm. As the day comes to an end, the final sip is quietly enjoyed. For thousands of years, wooden spoons have quietly rested in homes around the world. They are simple objects, used every day, yet rarely noticed. Every wooden spoon begins as part of a living tree in a quiet forest. Years pass slowly as the tree grows, through rain, sunlight, and changing seasons. Inside the wood, each ring holds a small memory of another year. Some years are wide, some are narrow. The tree continues growing quietly. Eventually, a piece of wood is carefully chosen by a patient craftsperson. The grain is studied slowly, showing the direction the spoon will take. Little pieces of wood fall away as the spoon slowly begins to appear. One shaving at a time, the shape becomes clearer. Some spoons become part of daily meals and familiar routines. Others remain quietly waiting, hanging in peaceful kitchens. The spoon moves slowly through warm soup, making gentle circles. Steam rises quietly as the meal slowly comes together. When the meal is finished, the wooden spoon is washed and dried. It returns to its place, waiting patiently for another quiet day. For centuries, the humble glass jar has quietly served in homes around the world. It begins as ordinary sand, carefully gathered and transformed by heat.
Strong yet delicate in appearance, each jar is made to last.
Glass is naturally non-porous, holding nothing but what you place inside. It keeps flavors pure and preserves food with simple honesty. From jams to spices, it stores the season's harvest for months ahead. Clear glass allows light to pass through, revealing beauty within. In the pantry, it brings order and calm to everyday essentials. A tight seal protects what matters, keeping freshness locked inside. Even flowers find a gentle home within its transparent walls. At night, it holds warm candlelight, creating a peaceful glow. Easy to clean and reuse, it offers a second life again and again. When its journey ends, it returns to the earth, fully recyclable. Simple in form, yet endlessly useful in so many quiet ways. For generations, the glass jar has preserved more than food. It has preserved flavor. First, cucumbers. Crisp and cool, they become the classic pickle. Red onions. Sweet at first, then soft, and gently tangy in just a few hours. Carrots. They hold their satisfying crunch and a touch of natural sweetness. Garlic. Sharp when raw, yet mellow and almost buttery once pickled. Jalapenos. Their warm heat softened by vinegar, lingering just enough. Beets. Earthy and sweet, turning the brine a deep, beautiful ruby. Radishes. Bright and peppery, keeping their crisp bite. Green beans. Tender yet firm. Perfect straight from the jar. Cabbage. slowly transforming into quiet, tangy sauerkraut. Eggs, smooth and savory, quietly taking on every flavor around them. Only vinegar, salt, water, and time. Nothing more is needed. Each jar is unique, yet all are preserved in the same simple way. Sealed tightly, they wait patiently in the cool and quiet dark. Inside, flavors deepen slowly, day after gentle day. Simple, timeless, always ready when you need them. A small jar of patience, quietly holding summer for the colder months. The fabric has changed with time. It has softened, faded, and taken on the quiet character of everything that has been truly loved. Within those folds are countless evenings that looked different, yet ended in much the same peaceful way. Some nights were ordinary. Some were difficult. Some carried moments that would be remembered for years. Outside, seasons changed and storms passed. Inside, this small corner of the home remained a place of warmth. Comfort does not always arrive through something new. Sometimes it comes from what has quietly stayed. In the quiet hours, the body remembers what the mind sometimes forgets. It is time to slow down. Warmth gathers in familiar places, bringing a feeling that words often struggle to describe. Evening rarely arrives all at once. It settles slowly, inviting the noise of the day to become quiet. In the corner of a familiar room, a simple quilt waits with the patience of something that has belonged for many years. Its worn threads carry no grand announcement. They simply hold the quiet evidence of countless evenings. The same small movements return each night. A fold is opened, a surface is prepared, a place for rest is made. These familiar routines often pass unnoticed, yet they are the moments that shape the feeling of home. Nothing about the room needs to be perfect. Comfort is often found in the things that have remained. Through changing seasons and passing years, this quiet companion has welcomed the same gentle ending to many days. Before sleep arrives, there is often a small moment when the world becomes slower and the mind begins to settle. The gesture is simple, almost automatic, shaped by memory more than thought. Its gentle weight offers a quiet reminder that the day has finished and nothing more is required. The room begins to change, voices fade, lights soften. The evening finds its own peaceful rhythm. Every softened corner and faded stitch reflects the passage of time, not as something lost, but as something carefully kept. Outside, another day disappears into the distance. Inside, the quiet grows a little deeper. Night begins gently, not with a sudden change, but with small moments of stillness gathering together. For years, this room has offered the same simple promise: a place to pause, a place to rest, a place to feel at home. Every room carries memories. Some are found in photographs, some in voices, and some in the simple things that remain nearby. These ordinary belongings rarely seem important in the moment, yet over time, they become part of the story of a life. Hands that once moved quickly through busy days now move more slowly, carrying memories of all the nights that came before. Night settles deeper, carrying away the unfinished thoughts and unanswered moments of the day. There is comfort in knowing that some things do not need to be changed to remain meaningful. For a while, the world outside can wait. The room asks only for quiet and rest. Every mark left behind tells a gentle story of use, care, and the simple passage of days. And through all those changing years, the quilt remains what it has always been, a small reminder that comfort can last. Somewhere between night and morning, the world becomes quiet enough to remember. Over the years, this room has welcomed different footsteps, different voices, and different chapters of the same story. Many of life's most meaningful moments are not announced. They simply happen in the comfort of familiar places. A small act of care can carry a message that needs no explanation. These quiet gestures are often repeated so many times that they become part of who we are. Children grow older. Families change. Years move forward. Yet some comforts continue to find their way back to us. Beside familiar objects, memories often remain in the places where they were first created. A photograph may capture a single moment, but a familiar object can hold the feeling of many moments together. The same hands may fold it differently now, but the care behind the movement remains unchanged. Time leaves its gentle marks on everything it touches, including the hands that have offered comfort for so many years. Outside, seasons continue their endless movement. Inside, a familiar warmth remains. These quiet gestures become part of who we are. In the quietest hours, memories often arrive softly, carried by the things we know best. The night holds every story that came before, while making room for the ones still waiting to be lived. Even now, the same simple comfort continues, offering peace in the smallest moments. Perhaps that is the gift of familiar things. They remind us where we have been, while gently carrying us forward. Through countless nights, the fabric has held more than warmth. It has held moments that were never meant to be forgotten. Some things become meaningful not because they are rare, but because they remain beside us through ordinary days. Here, in this small corner of the home, countless evenings have ended in the same simple way. The deepest hours pass quietly, carrying dreams, memories, and the peaceful rhythm of rest. Time has changed its colors and softened its edges, but it has never taken away the comfort it offers. The hands that once held it are different now. The feeling it brings remains familiar. In a world that changes constantly, there is something reassuring about what quietly stays. The night moves slowly across the room, leaving behind the same gentle sense of peace. Not every treasured thing needs to be displayed. Some are simply lived with. It remains ready, just as it has always been, waiting for another evening and another quiet moment. Slowly, the darkness begins to soften. A new day quietly approaches. The room holds the final moments of night, carrying the calm that rest has left behind. Morning arrives gently, finding the same familiar place where the evening began. Some objects become part of our lives so naturally that we forget they are there, until we realize how much they have given. Years may pass. Rooms may change. People may come and go. Yet some comforts remain quietly with us, reminding us that home is not only where we rest, but where we are remembered.